qualification. The cars have been on circuit, the times have been set, the drivers are prepared, and so hopefully you all at home as we're about to go racing for the very first time this weekend on one of the singular most legendary circuits in the whole world. That's right, Spa-Francorchamps. You can see it on your screen. The drivers are forming up on the grid as we're about to go racing. And TCR Europe, rounds 5 and 6, and the Kumho TCR World Tour, round 3 and 4, is about to take place. We look forward to this race. The air temperature 22 degrees, track 42 degrees C. It is a warm day at Spa-Francorchamps, but that will not put off our drivers in what should be a very, very intense fight as the Kumho TCR World Tour once again joins the grid of TCR Europe for the second time this season, following on from the opening round of the championship of the Portimao circuit. And now let's go down onto the grid. So here we go down onto the grid. We have got Fabio Ravioli has got a couple of special guests to talk to. So in a few seconds time, when Fabio's ready, we'll have a quick word and then we will go racing once again. So let's head down to Fabio on the grid to talk to our special guests.
Good afternoon to all motorsport fans. We are on the grid here at Spa-Francorchamps with TCR promoter Marcello Lotti, who has a couple of special guests who came from other sea. Marcello from Australia and Hong Kong, so it's a big step for TCR World Tour.
Yeah, sure. We are so happy and we welcome both of them, the championship from China and the band, our promoter from Australia. I like them.
Ben McMillan, he represented the Australian Racing Group, the promoter of TCR Australia. Ben, the TCR World Tour is racing twice in Australia this year. And are the TCR Australia competitors looking forward to receive the World Tour?
Yeah, absolutely. The TCR competitors in Australia can't wait for the World Tour to come to Australia. Have the likes of Nestor Girolami there battling out with the best in Australia. We've got Ben Bargwanna here this weekend representing us, so we can't wait for everyone to come to Australia in November.
Thank you very much. And from Hong Kong, Sunny Wong, a front runner in TCR China. So, Sunny, the world ranking is giving the opportunity to national competitor championship to qualify for the final.
Yes.
And are you looking forward to it? Because TCR China is scoring a lot of points because it's a very strong championship with 34 cars on the grid.
Yes, I'm a driver, but I can say that like a couple of weeks ago when we were racing in Shanghai, we have a big grid, like 32 cars, like you said, with a good mixture of like factory supported teams and privateers, professional drivers as well as gentleman drivers. So the racing, the level is up there. And with the world ranking system, I think everyone is more attached, like more engaged with the TCR racing as a team, as a driver. So we will hopefully some of our front runners will join the finals after the Macau GP.
Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fabio. Good to hear from some personalities down there on the grid, this beautiful grid at Spa-Francorchamps, as our cars are lining up and getting ready to go out on their sighter formation lap before this first race of the weekend. Anybody who's joining the broadcast, first and foremost, our apologies for the slight delay. Unfortunately, a very busy schedule throughout Spa-Francorchamps, and red flags can cause a little bit of difficulty in timing, but we're almost ready to go now. And I believe Fabio is down on pit lane with Lincoln co-driver Jan Ellershay.
I'm focused.
Sorry. Jan Erlaché, you are on pole position, but you seem very relaxed before the race.
I'm not relaxed, I'm focused, you know. Starting here from pole is never really easy because after T1, we have like a long straight to go to Les Combes, and we don't really have the top speed to defend that much. So yeah, it's all about nailing this first part of the race to have a chance to get for the big points.
Thank you very much and good luck. Sorry, but I forgot to release the button.
So that was our pole sitter, of course, in the Kumho TCR World Tour, Jan Elishay, and he's does have a difficult job, as he says. The Lynk & Co Cyan racing cars don't seem as quick, according to the drivers, as what they would hope for on this track, which makes them incredibly vulnerable for the run into Les Combes. But let's have a look at the starting grid before we go into it. So Jan Elishay is our man on pole position from Marcinkois. All Lynk & Co front row. Nestor Girolamo and Kobe Powell line up in third and fourth position. Powell's the quickest of the TCR Europe drivers. Santiago Urrutia is fifth on the grid, just ahead of Great Britain's Rob Huff. And Tom Coronel, the second of the TCR Europe drivers, is alongside Norbert Mitchell, 7th, 8th position. Felipe Fernandez and John Philippi round out our top 10 runners, with Ted Bjork starting in 11th position, just ahead of Victor Davidovsky in the Lynk & Co Racing, in the ComTU Racing Audi RS3. Dusan Borkovic and Mikel Athkanar are 13th and 14th on the grid, with Frederick Vervies racing on home soil 15th alongside Lewis Brown. Australia's Ben Bargwanna will start in 17th, just ahead of Ruben Fernandez. Isaac Smith is 19th on the grid. In 21st position is Michael Carlson. Levente Lozenche in 22nd, and new driver Lindberg will be in 23rd and last position. Making his debut is Philip Lindberg for the ALM Motorsport Honda Civic Type R FL5 here in the Kumho TCR World Tour. So we're looking forward to see how Lindberg gets on as the race progresses and he gets more important mileage under his belt. Now, for anybody new to the world of TCR racing, first and foremost, a very warm welcome to you all. Just a bit of a rundown of some important things that you'll need to know heading into this race. Firstly, we're going for an 8-lap event here at Spa-Francorchamps. We have got the opportunity to extend that to 10 laps by a further 2 laps should we have a safety car intervention. Hopefully that doesn't come around and we can get this completed in just under 30 minutes or so. This field today, it is a TCR Europe race, but we are joined by the Kumho TCR World Tour. The easiest way to distinguish which car represents which series. The triple-digit numbers are the Kumho TCR World Tour drivers. The double-digit numbers are the TCR Europe competitors, as you can see there. Number 62 for Dusan Borkovic. In this race, the TCR Europe drivers will be racing for their own championship and will score accordingly. The Kumho TCR World Tour drivers are invisible to TCR Europe points. All drivers competing in the TCR World Tour will be events are eligible to score points for the TCR World Tour and the TCR World Ranking. TCR World Tour's full season entries are not eligible to score points for the local TCR series that host the event. So essentially, the World Tour drivers are invisible to the TCR Europe Championship points standings. Hence, Kobe Powell is the man that will be looking to move as far forward as he possibly can in this race, as he's been a standout driver in TCR Europe in 2023, making his debut, moving over from Euro RX3 rallycross racing, and as a Belgian driver, he's on home soil. So he'll be looking to try and score a big result, 4th on the grid at this moment in time, the front finish starter of the TCR Europe competition. So a big opportunity for Kobe Powell to score big here against his immediate rivals. Lynk & Co Cyan Racing have not been as fast as they would have hoped to have been in free practice, but found an extra gear in qualification. So Cyan Racing for the Lynk & Co outfit will be looking for Elishay and Marcinkois locking out the front row to maybe work together a little bit, potentially, in this opening lap to help them keep their advantage over the Girolamo run Honda behind, and of course Powell's in the ComTU Racing Audi RS3. So there's a bit of strategy potentially to play out here. There's a lot of opportunity here at Spa-Francorchamps to overtake in a TCR specification touring car. So even a pole position's nice, but it's no guarantee of getting that lead at the end of the first lap. And here we have the green flag, so we're going on the formation lap now. The drivers will navigate their way around this 7-kilometre circuit, 20 turns at Spa-Francorchamps, an opportunity to get the car warmed up, make sure everything is working and get prepared for the all-important standing start, because of course in TCR Europe we do standing starts here in this series, so the drivers will have a little bit of work to do to get everything in a position to go racing in a few moments time. We also have a number of onboard cameras in this race. Frederik Vervisch that we're looking at here, despondent, it's fair to say, to have been 15th in qualification. He said we didn't have the speed in the car to be any further up the grid, and a driver of the talent of Vervisch and a team such as Kumho would very much expect to be closer to the sharp end. Teammate Rob Huff lines up in 6th position, so there's work to do for Frederik Vervisch, but expect him to move forward in this race, as fundamentally that is a quick race car. And another bit of housekeeping to mention, there's been a 3-place grid penalty applied to Mikel Azcona due to contact in qualification with Tom Coronel at this corner. Lacan, they came side by side. There's Azcona, had to go onto the escape road, preventing either driver from improving their time, but the stewards have reviewed that one and deemed that was the fault of Mikel Azcona, so 3-place penalty comes his way, dropping him on the grid from 11th to 14th position. His starting position for race 2 is unaffected, so he will remain 11th for race 2 grid, which happens on Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, so make sure you put a little note in your diary for that one. But Azcona, difficult weekend, got even harder courtesy of that one. He's been very strong at the start of the Kumho TCR World Tour campaign, so a recovery position to say the least for the Spanish driver in the Hyundai Elantra N TCR. Another one well worth keeping our eye on as this race progresses, to see if he can climb his way through the running order. This is the onboard camera that we're looking at, one of the 4 onboard cameras that we've got today in the live action. That is Bebu Girolami. Great qualifying yesterday for Girolami in the Honda squad. The car is very new to the world of TCR competition. It's the first time it has raced in the TCR Kumho World Tour, the first year, should I say. And for this weekend, for the first time, ALM Motorsport have a 2-car outfit. So an encouraging turn of pace for Girolami in that machine to get it on the 2nd row of the grid. And from there, he'll be hoping that he can get a solid result in this race, potentially even challenge the incredibly competitive Link & Co cars that you see ahead of him. And then here is Frederik Vervisch again, 15th position. We talked about him already, but from P15 there is an opportunity to move forward, and that will be one that I very firmly encourage you to keep your eyes on over the course of the first few laps. Talk about our rookies as we're lining up on the grid as well. Kobe Powell's is the fastest of the rookie drivers in the field. Again, Powell's local to Spa-Francorchamps, is a Belgian native, but has very little touring car experience, continues to impress in that Kumho racing car. So expect Powell's maybe to be a little bit hungry to get a strong result in this one. We'll keep our eye out on that one, because of course he's racing a race within a race, and he's looking to be the forerunner of the TCR Europe contingent within this grid as well. So a difficult choice of, do you push or do you hold for Kobe Powell's? Last of the cars now coming through the bus stop chicane to line up their place on the grid. When everybody is all 23 cars are in position, the flag will be waved at the back of the field to let us know that we are in a go situation for the start of this race, and then we can go finally motor racing here at Spa-Francorchamps. 23 TCR cars in the Spa sunshine. The lights on the gantry will all go red when they are released. We will be go for TCR Europe, the Kumho TCR World Tour. Martin Guas stalls the car on 2nd position. Everybody thankfully manages to find a way past the stranded Link & Co. And at the front of the field, we have got Nestle Girolami trying everything to find a way past Jan Elishay at the head of the pack. A little bit further down, the cars are squabbling on corner exit through Le Source hairpin. Everybody's managed to make their way through pretty much cleanly, but it's a field of 2 at the front as Girolami firmly to the rear of Elishay's Link & Co. Can he get a slipstream now down the long Kemmel straight for the hard braking zone into Le Combe? A great passing opportunity. There's a little challenge there from Frederik Vervisch as well to the outside of the pack. Further down the running order, Vervisch immediately trying to make his way up the order, but Girolami does not have the legs. Kobe Powell's hard on the defences. Santiago Urrutia trying to go around the outside as well. well. So Urrutia trying to make up ground quickly in the early stages of this race. Ted Bjork side by side, 2 further down the running order. A light bit of contact between himself and the cars immediately around him. Nothing to worry about too much at this stage as we squabble down now into the right hand of Bjork just ahead of us. We are following through very nicely indeed. Thank you very much. And that is another position gain. And John Philippi is the one only contact in fact there as well between Vervish and one of the Lincoln Coast. And look at this little battle pack here. 3 wide to the run down into the double gauche. Will everybody make it through cleanly? Bjork to the outside. That's not where you want to be in this situation. Fernandez trying to buy into that one as well. Fernandez now will be on the outside. Bjork has the inside line, has the advantage, and just behind Dusan Borkovic trying to get involved, goes sideways to Borkovic. Light contact between the two, and smoke kicking up over the screen, but we just about manage to get away. That allows the other Fernandez machine to get involved as well. Just behind them, Victor Anderson in the yellow Lincoln Co, trying desperately to find a bit of clean air and a bit of space. And Anderson makes his way through, and Marching War on the recovery drive sneaks underline as well and gets the position as again Fernandez, Felipe Fernandez, a little bit of smoke coming from the back of the car, but nothing too dramatic, and everybody's having an attempt to find a way past the 2 Hyundais getting involved as well as we come through to the bus stop for the first time to complete lap 1. And there are 2 Hyundais, and there are a bit of grass tracking as well. Ascona on the grass, gets it back just in front of Borkovic and Barguana, but a little bit of contact, a little bit of drama between the cars in the same mark there, and Barguana's the man that's the odd one out now. Squashed the little Peugeot over the curb, but he stays alongside as Ascona, Borkovic and Fernandez continue their charge up front. Tom Coronel, good run we see through the La Source hairpin. He runs alongside, but does he have enough of a run to find a way past Rob Huff ahead of him? Frederic Vervies started 15th, done a lap, now 9th. Thank you very much. That's an outstanding first lap. And oh no, Borkovic and Barguana stationary on the racetrack. Damage to the front of Dusan's car. So there's been some kind of drama. They were in that little battle pack that we saw down in the 14, 15, 16 kind of region, but I'm afraid that one has come to a sticky end. Hopefully we can get that cleared before the field come back round again. I'm not sure at what part of the racetrack that is at, but we'll keep our eye on that one to see if both cars are out. And as we're looking a little bit further on, in fact there is Dusan Borkovic now, the nearly 7-footer Dusan Borkovic. That's not a sight if you're Ben Barguani you want to be looking at with Dusan Borkovic, arms on hips, looking through your window. But hopefully we'll see a replay of what occurred down there as we're looking at Rob Huff, currently in 6th position, so as they were for Rob Huff, but he's been involved in more than fair share of drama in the opening few skirmishes of this first race of the weekend for Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR Europe. 2 laps of 8 completed. I'm seeing no sign yet, as it stands, of a safety car intervention. So hopefully we can stay going green as we're looking at John Philippi. Philippi into 8th position at the moment, just ahead of stablemate Frederic Vervies. Vervies in the World Tour car, Philippi in the European entry, and Novi Michelic just ahead of them as the Hunter Ted Bjork behind in the blue Cyan racing machine is trailing the back of that fight, seeing if an opportunity will present itself. Marching Hua, by the way, who was so stationary at the start from 2nd all the way down to the back of the field, has already recovered into 15th position. And there we see on the timing screens, safety car has been deployed. You can see it on your screen, the flashing light, the flashing box, and that will mean everybody slows down, gets in behind the safety car, and give our track workers the opportunity to clear away the 2 damaged cars that we saw a little earlier on. So now you have time to breathe. That was quite an opening few encounters there. Hopefully we see some replays of exactly what occurred further down the field. But as we tick over onto the 3rd lap, it is Jan Elishay that is your race leader from Bebu Girolame. Kobe Powell's has made up 1 courtesy of Marching Wars. Dramas at the start, so he's in 3rd position just ahead of Santiago Urrutia in 4th. Coronel holds on to 5th position. And let's have a little look at what's going on here. That is Dusan Borkovic with Fernandez. That's the sideways moment we saw in the live pictures. Borkovic and Fernandez coming together, both drivers doing a very good job actually to hold on to that one. That transpired a little bit further down the line for Mikel Azcona to take, avoiding action of the Audi car in front. So Azcona good driving there to not really lose anything and stay with it. And there is Borkovic and Barguana, 2 cars in a 1, just don't go in the braking zone of the La Source hairpin. And sadly, both of those cars come to an early rest in the race. Look, there you go, you can see. Actually, there was another of the Hyundais getting involved, and Michael Carlson as well being sent for a spin. So that was a bit of a chain reaction incident down into the first turn. And the other Hyundai that we saw is Mikkel Azcona. So Azcona having a rather fraught few opening laps, and the result is he's 21st and last of the drivers that are still running in this race. So Carlson managed to get the thing back round and in the right direction quicker than the Spaniard Azcona. So that is a big news story as the TCR World Tour, Kumho TCR World Tour, one of the front running drivers in that series, is all the way to the back of the field. Great work, as always, from the Orange Army here at the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. They've managed to clear away those cars very quickly in double time, so thank you for that one. The safety car will be in on this lap. The timing screens will update at the top of your screen to see the new lap total. There we go, right on cue. So it's now going to be a 9-lap race, but great work to get that one cleared. And there is Azcona now coming back onto the track and trying desperately to catch up with that train of cars before we go back into green flag racing. Damage on the front of the car, a little bit of grass as well in the air intake, but hopefully for Mikkel Azcona, he can close that gap down quick enough to rejoin this train and still have an opportunity to find a way to move forward as the race progresses. As I say, lap 3 of 9, we've extended by 1, so we've still got plenty of racing left to do. And if you're the likes of Jan Elishay at the front of the field, you're going to be very interested indeed in how close Pedro Girolami stays to the rear of your car when we go green flag racing again, because this is a perfect opportunity for the Honda to draft up to the rear of that big Lincoln Co and look to make a pass as we exit Eau Rouge and Radion down the Kemmel Straight and into Le Con for the first green flag running again of this, what has already been a very dramatic race indeed. While the cars are circulating round, I just want to say hello if anybody's joining the broadcast now or watching the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR Europe Championships for the very first time. It is outstanding to have you with us. Thank you for joining us in this broadcast, either on the TCR TV app, or the TCR series, or on TCR TV on YouTube. It's great to have you with us. Thank you for being with us, and do stay tuned because on Sunday at 11:40 CEST we'll be going all over again for our second and final race of the weekend before we pack our bags and for the World Tour head off to Vallelunga, and the next race for TCR Europe will be at the Hungaro Ring in Budapest, which is going to be another fabulous race, and one I'm very much looking forward to seeing the crowd and how they react to the likes of Lassenche and Norbert Michelis, home heroes. So here we go now, the safety car in a few moments' time will peel off to the pit lane on the right-hand side of your screen. The cars will navigate their way through the bus stop chicane, and then we will be racing once again in the TCR Kumho World Tour. Elishay leads the field away nicely indeed from Girolami. Kobe Powell's under massive pressure behind from Santiago Arrutier. Arrutier looks to the outside line, he'll try and switch the car back through the La Source hairpin, but Powell's has that one covered for now, and Coronel just a little further in arrears, having a sniff at the rear of Arroutier's Lincoln Co to see if there's any opportunities present themselves with Rob Huff in close proximity as well. But that is a great start for Jan Elishay at the front of the field, exactly what he needed to do, and he's got that done in fine style as we're looking on board now. So we're looking ahead to Isaac Smith just in front of us. That's Marcin Noir's car as he makes his recovery drive, and Arroutier to the outside for the run down to Le Con. The Lincoln Co supposedly slow in a straight line, but it doesn't look too bad at all there. Can he keep it all the way through? The outside becomes the inside of Le Con. Yes, he can. Good driving from Powell to give the racing room when it was required. And Coronel, teammate Tom Coronel now trying to buy into this one as well. A little kiss to the back of Arroutier's car, but that's no problem whatsoever. This is touring car racing, and there we go. The Cyan Lincoln Co machine up to the bottom step of the podium. Powell's trying desperately to hang on. Coronel in close proximity as well. Then we have got another of the Audi machines just behind Coronel. That is Rob Huff with Nobi Michelitz in the first of the Elantras, 7th position, just ahead of Frederick Vervish. Vervish having an outstanding recovery drive from 15th to 8th, and we're still only at the halfway distance of this race. So can Vervish continue his charge to the running order and find a way past as we progress? This is Nobi Michelitz's car that we're looking on board in now, just ahead of us. You can see the rear of Rob Huff's Audi, and this is becoming a little bit of a train between these now, potentially held up slightly by Kobe Powell's the cork in the bottle at the front of the grid. So these drivers have an opportunity, well, potentially going faster, can find a way past and start shuffling their way through the running order. Everyone's a little bit tentative at this stage, don't want to show their cards too early, don't want to defend too hard and slip through the pack. So let's see how this one progresses. We're about to close out the 4th and start the 5th lap of this incredible circuit. But Jan Elishay looked relaxed on the grid at the start. He has every reason to be, because this has been a very, very solid drive from Jan Elishay at this moment in time. Running through the bus stop chicane, reprofiled of course many years ago now, so it's not quite the Mickey Mouse challenge it once was, but still a good overtaking opportunity as Michelitz comes under pressure from Vervish. Michelitz to the inside, Vervish to the outside. Vervish now tries to cut back to the inside again, but hasn't quite got enough front end on that Audi to make that switch back in good time, as Marchingois is still on the charge. 14th position, Lewis Brown in the Volcano Motorsports machine just ahead. Watch this as we ride up Eau Rouge. Look how steep and violent Eau Rouge is. Mar does a good job to stay well within the defined track limits by race control, gets in the slipstream very quickly of the Volcano car ahead, and see if he can convert that into an opportunity for the run down the straight, as Nobi now under pressure as well. So Nobi Mitchell's going backwards at this moment in time. Frederick Vervish, thank you very much, I'll take another pass. I've got a bit of a habit of overtaking here at this track, and I've got a taste for it as well. Frederick Vervish, whatever issues and difficulties with pace he had yesterday, this morning in qualification, are firmly a thing of the past now as he continues his charge forward. And again there, a bit further down, we're looking at Lewis Brown, 13th position, but under significant pressure from the Lincoln Co. of Marchingois and from Fernandez's RC2 junior team, RC2 racing team Audi behind. In fact, Fernandez has the inside line, so Mar loses the position, loses the momentum, trying to find a way past Brown, and gets a good tight line through double gauche. That'll give him a run off of the corner into the next chicane, so we'll watch that one in a minute. We've got Ted Bjork and John Philippi are side by side. Everywhere you look, there's a touring car side by side, but there is Marchingois at the back of the shot, continuing through Fernandez and getting the job done. So an immediate recovery from the Lincoln co-driver retakes that position. 10th place held by Ted Bjork at this moment in time as well, also having a bit of a squabble with those around him. In fact, Bjork is 9th now, so he's managed to slip past John Philippi. So not being the race pace that John Philippi would have been looking for. He's on pole, of course, in the reverse grid race 2, but at this moment in time, the Comte car doesn't have quite the pace of those around them, which will be a concern heading into tomorrow's event, without any shadow of a doubt for John Philippi. People struggling for pace is not something that the likes of Rob Huff need to worry about too much at this time. He's still very much in touch with this squabble headed by Kobe Powell's in 4th position at this moment in time. Powell's and Tom Coronel, they're our leading runners at TCR Europe, so there are maximum points winners at this time. Is Kobe Powell's with Tom Coronel just behind, doing a great work, 4th and 5th in the overall running and 1st and 2nd in the TCR Europe classification. But look how much of an advantage Jan Elishay has now after 6 laps of racing. That is a comfortable gap as you're going to find in the world of touring cars. And look further back, you can just see Santiago Urrutia coming through, trying to break the slipstream of Kobe Powell's behind, just weaving the car. That's not a defensive move, that is literally trying to break the slipstream of the Audi behind so it doesn't become vulnerable into the braking zone. So that tells me that Urrutia is more concerned about those behind than trying to close the gap of the 2 race leaders, and that won't be lost on Kobe Powell, so that'll be a little boost to his confidence, I think, heading into the final stage of this race. to know that he's got Urrutier's attention, and now it's a case of can he do anything about that forward momentum to find a way past it onto the bottom step of the overall podium in this race. Further down the running order, Mikael Athkenar, 18th position at this moment in time, so he's managed to clear Lossenche and Carlson and Lindberg. Borkovic and Barguana, of course, both out of the race at this stage. So good to see Athkenar moving up after his double dramas at the start of this race, and he would desperately have wanted to have been in this squabble for the podium positions currently headed by Santiago Urrutia. There is Santiago in the number 1-2 machine. Kobe Powell's in the 22 car just behind, representing Comtu Racing in TCR Europe. His teammate, different livery, but same team, is Tom Coronel in the black and red machine just behind him. And then another Comtu car, but this time a World Tour entrant, of Rob Huff, just getting slightly detached now from this fight. Lost a couple of tenths last time around, starting to fall away from that important slipstream train and getting left behind by the 3 cars ahead of him. Other big winners and losers in the opening stages of this race. If we look down the running order, obviously Frederick Verveech, 7th position overall, 15th on the grid, is our big winner in the first few laps of this race. Barguana and Borkovic out of the event, of course, are the big losers so far, which is a real shame because both drivers need the track time, need the experience that staying in a race offers you. So it's a real double whammy disappointment for those, and they'll hopefully recover, get the cars fixed and come back stronger next time out tomorrow morning when we go again here at Spa. This is interesting now, the run-up Eau Rouge through Radion at the top of the hill, and Kobe Powell's has the car on its tippy toes. He fancies his chances, and Urrutia now firmly looking in the rear-view mirror. Again, weaves across the circuit, tries to break that slipstream. Powell's goes with him to take the benefit where it's possible, shows the nose to the inside of Lecombe, but not close enough to make a move. Urrutia, a light lock of the brake as well there. He's really concentrating on what's happening behind, and while these two squabble, Tom Coronel is starting to close in as well. Coronel using the advantage of not having to fight across the circuit to get clean air. Coronel concentrating on his line, has closed a half a second gap down to absolutely nothing, and now he is firmly in the conversation for this fight, the 3rd position. Can Coronel do anything about teammate Kobe Powell's? Can Powell's do anything about Santiago Urrutia? And can Rob Huff pick up the scraps a little further back as these continue to squabble for position and cost themselves time relative to the leaders, but more importantly at this stage, relative to those cars behind? Again, Powell's just feels the need to look to the inside just to cover off any chance that Coronel, or any thoughts that Coronel may have of positioning his Audi car in that gap. So Powell's now, from just half a lap ago being the attacker, has started to take a defensive stance. And while he's defending against Coronel, even though it's only light defending at this stage in the race, that's given an opportunity for Santiago Urrutia to gap those 2 cars, give himself a little bit of breathing space and a comfort blanket, and that's exactly what Santiago needs at this stage in the race, because that gives him the safety net, so to speak, of not getting involved in the squabble, so he can concentrate on cementing his position in position number 3. I'm seeing a warning flag for car 11 and 48 on my timing screen. Car 11 being Victor Davidovsky, and car number 48 being Michael Carlson for Aggressive Team Italia. So I'm not quite sure what that one's about, but those two have been warned and have been watched for track limits and behaviour on the racetrack. No doubt it's very easy to suffer the consequences of track limit abuse at such a high-speed track as the circuit of Spa-Francorchamps is here, the host to what is, as I say, the Kumho TCR World Tour rounds 3 and 4, and the TCR Europe rounds 5 and 6. Through a Rouge, bit of tyre rub from Rob Huff as the top of his tyre catches the underside of the wheel arch on that Audi. Nothing to be concerned about. The cars have been doing this all weekend long, so no dramas and worries about the longevity of that tyre over the course of the race. It is a perfectly safe and known behaviour on these cars at this track. Well, Huff still in the conversation, but not quite close enough to start showing his nose. And now he's got the added complexion of Frederick Verviche all the way up from 15th on the grid, and now fancying his chances indeed of finding a way past teammate Rob Huff for taking that 6th position away. So Huff's got his work cut out now over the last couple of laps. Same car, same team, it's a known quantity in Frederick Verviche. Huff will know where he's strong and know where he is weak, and it's a case of who wants that position more. But that gives Powles and Coronel again a little bit of breathing space in front, because they've not got the likes of Huff and Verviche fighting against them as we ride on board with the Belgian driver now for the run down the hill into the right hand. Look how you keep the car flowing, use the curve, try and straighten the corner as much as possible without unsettling the car over the curve. Get on the gas as hard as you possibly can for the next braking zone now. Neat, watch your line, nice and tight on the exit. Nice, use all the racetrack, get on the throttle as early as you possibly can, because this next part of the track is absolutely flat out. We've got to go and carry as much speed as possible now as we're coming up through Blanchimont and into the next big stop of the chicane. That is Blanchimont. Here in the touring car is breathtaking, so I've been told. And Kobe Powles enjoying himself at home a great deal in a touring car for the first time. But it's so fine margins at this track. You've got to carry the speed, you've got to carry the momentum and be committed. But one small mistake, one curb strike too many, and that can undo all of your good work. Final lap board now as Jan Elishay at the front of the field crosses the timing beam for the last time to start this final lap. 9 laps we ended up doing here in this race, and the big stories really are, can Santiago Arrutier hold on to that 3rd position? Will Kobe Powles be the first to cross the line of the TCR unit drivers, or can Tom Coronel do something about that? And will Frederick Verviche's immense climb through the field terminate at 7th position, or is Rob Huff one last victim? Arrutier deeply to the inside, covering now on the run down Le Con, doesn't want to give away the slipstream, doesn't want to give away the ideal line, so slides back on to the racing line and still has position for Santiago Arrutier from Kobe Powles. So that is one danger zone ticked off and cleared for Santiago. A couple more real obvious spots further around the lap to go, and if he can get those done, that will be job done on the bottom step of the podium. A little bit further down the road you can see Michelitz and Bjork still fighting tooth and nail in 8th and 9th position. Norby not having the race he would have hoped for, but still on for reasonably solid points on a day when other drivers in contention for the titles have having a bit of a nightmare. So Norby will be moderately satisfied with 8th place after all the trials and tribulations, and of course starting all the way down in 8th position, so no real progress has been made, which I'm sure will lead to plenty of analysis overnight at the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa outfit. From the field though, Girolami gamely holding on. Good start to the race for him. Started 3rd position in quali, moved up to 2nd, courtesy of course of Marcin Kła's dramas off the line, and that Honda's never really looked like it's going to be challenged at any stage for that 2nd position, although not quick enough to stay with Elishay, still quick enough for a very respectable podium for Bebu Girolami and the ALM Motorsport team. But this man that we're watching now has been untouchable. Frenchman Jan Elishay put the car on pole position, had a canter almost in qualification, did the job off the line, hasn't put a wheel wrong, accelerates down the final corner, and the Kumho TCR World Tour race winner in round number 3 is Jan Elishay for Cyan Lincoln Co Racing. 2nd position goes to Bebu Girolami. Santiago Arrutier holds on for that bottom step of the podium from Kobe Powles. Rob Huff holds on to 5th position ahead of a charging Frederick Verviche. The RC2 Racing Team cars have a bit of drama right at the end as well, but it is Fernandez advantage. Felipe at the line, as well as Ruben drops all the way down to 18th position at the checkered flag. Wow, promise you a good touring car race, did I not? Well, there you go. That is how we do touring car racing here in TCR Europe and the Kumho TCR World Tour. The drivers immediately called onto pit lane past the checkered flag to get their cars off of the racetrack and clear things up for the next event that is scheduled to start very soon indeed. And of course, we had that delay due to the red flag, so the timing has been compressed yet further, but that'll be the kind of thing that is no concern whatsoever for this man, Yann Aleshet. A dominant performance, a clear and outright winner at the front of the field. No single mistake made by the Frenchman, showing his class, showing why he is a world champion. And yes, that means a lot to Yann Aleshet. It means a lot to the Scion Link & Co team. This is a brand new Evo car, not really had a great deal of running, but already rocks up with its second race win from its second competitive weekend in the Kumho TCR World Tour. And that is Aleshet 1, teammate Arroutier 1 in terms of race victories. Arms aloft, applause from the crowd and the team. That is a big result for Yann Aleshet. That gets his season kick-started just like he needed it to do, having come away from an up and down Portimao weekend, it has to be said. And these are your provisional results for round 3. Yann Aleshet is our winner from Nesta Girolamo. Santiago Arroutier in 3rd place ahead of Kobe Powell's. Rob Hupp is 5th. Frederic Verviche in 6th. Tom Coronel dropped back at the flag, down to 7th position ahead of Norbert Michelitz. Ted Bjork is 9th, and John Philippi in 10th position. Marching Hua, Victor Davidovsky and Lewis Brown are 11, 12 and 13 from Felipe Fernandez. Isaac Smith finishes just ahead of Mikel Azcona in 15 and 16. Victor Anderson is 17th. Ruben Fernandez in 18th position. In 19th, we've got Levente Lozenche, Mikael Carlson 20th, and Philip Lindberg is the last of our finishing drivers in 23rd position. And I believe Fabio has got Yann Aleshet down on pit road. So let's have a word with our race winner.
We are trying to chase Yann Aleshet, who has won the first race of the TCR World Tour at Spa. So, Yann, many congratulations. You managed to convert pole position into your first victory of the season.
Yeah, really happy that happened here in Spa, you know, on a legendary track. Was not the easiest thing to start from pole position here. Nestor was quite quick behind me, so no, really happy about this. Big thanks to the team because we are chasing this and we work very hard, sincerely very hard. So really happy that it happened today.
And the turning point was after the safety car when you managed to break away from Girolami.
Yeah, I knew like the restart would be crucial because with the toe he had good pace. So yeah, it was a little bit more complicated than a smooth race with no safety car, but at the end that's why we are here for, to win hard.
Thank you very much, congratulations. With Powell's.
Superb stuff there from our race winner, Yann Aleshet. And hopefully we get to have a word as well with Kobe Powell. So I believe Fabio does have Kobe Powell's, the winner of TCR Europe. Let's have a word.
Kobe Powell's 4th overall and a winner of TCR Europe. It was a great race. You tried to be on the overall podium, but you missed it for a while.
Yeah, it was really close in the end, you know. But of course, I'm super happy. It's only my 3rd race in TCR Europe and 2nd in the World Tour, and to come away at the podium, not just missing out on the podium in TCR World Tour and finishing 1 in TCR Europe is of course great. And it would have been better, but it was my first ever safety car restart, and my tires were just not prepared enough, and that's how I lost 3rd place. But anyway, it's a huge result, and I'm super happy.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
The rise and rise of Kobe Powell's in touring car racing continues with that victory in TCR Europe. And let's have a look at the points for the Kumho TCR World Tour. Yann Aleshet is our new leader ahead of Norbert Michelitz with Rob Huff, courtesy of that consistency, 3rd overall ahead of Frederic Verviche. Santiago Arroutier, 17 points away from the top of the table and just a singular point ahead of his rivals as well. It's a closely fought thing. And in Europe, Tom Coronel just holds on from John Philippi at the front of the TCR Europe standing. Kobe Powell's, with that victory, moves up into 3rd position and very much in contention for that title in TCR Europe. incredible stuff from all of our drivers, as is always the case. And don't forget, we're going to be back again. So we're going to be live at 11:40 CEST in the morning for race 2 of the TCR Europe at Kumho TCR World Tour at Spa-Francorchamps. We're going to be on the TCR TV app, TCRseries.tv online, and of course TCR Europe TCR TV on YouTube as well. So please do make sure that you get yourself on to those channels, make a note in your diary and watch this second race, because race 2 is always rather exciting and race 1 was pretty good. So I reckon we're going to go another step further again. I don't think we're going to be getting the podium celebrations from this race, unfortunately, due to that compressed timetable that we spoke about, but we'll find out in a few minutes' time. I'm just hearing in my ear. But regardless, it's been a great day of racing. The sun has been shining, the spectators have been treated to an outstanding performance. So from myself and all the team, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.